Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience tuning in on the South, as well as joining us online worldwide. Thanks to our friends at iHeartRadio. We're glad you all could be with us as well. I'm so excited to welcome best-selling author Kwame Mbalia to our program today. He has a brand new book that's out this week called Tristan Strong Destroys the World. It's the second book in his Tristan Strong series. We'll talk to him not only about the new book, but also what it's been like for him to be able to give readers a source of inspiration and entertainment, as well as, of course, what he hopes you're able to take away from the brand new book. Kwame, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Cyrus, thank you for having me.
So, brand new book out. I mean, the first book was so well received, and rightly so, Kwame, I think, because not only are you able to entertain, but also, I think, to inspire. What is it like for you as the creator of this series to see the way that people are really taken to these characters?
It's been fantastic. I'll be perfectly honest with you. To see readers of all ages, children, young readers who say that Tristan or Gumbaby are their favorite characters, but also to see some of the older readers, some of the adults who relate to the stories or who tell me that they remember, some of these folktale characters from when they were growing up, or that they never saw these folktale characters when they grew up. It has been absolutely overwhelming and incredible.
Yeah. Have you always known, Kwame, for you that storytelling was that thing, was that gift that you had been given? Tristan discovers his gift. Have you always known that storytelling was yours?
I always knew that I wanted to write. Like, I always knew that I had something inside of me. Like writing was how, when I was younger, it was the best way for me to express myself. Not everyone is born, or not everyone is gifted with the ability to just talk to people. Talking to someone about your feelings and emotions is scary. So writing was my way of putting those emotions down and getting them out. And now that I'm able to do that in a story format, it is something that is both a relief and also, it is powerful in its own way.
Do you find yourself still having, considering the success of the first book, Kwame, still having those wow moments for yourself?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think there is a day that goes by that I don't, sit back and I'm like, I get to do this. I get to tell stories for a living. I get to share these stories with, the entire world. It's mind-blowing to some aspects. And then I'm like, all right, shake out of it, Kwame. You have deadlines, so get to it.
So I want to talk about this balancing act, and I think it's so interesting for us to talk about your own journey, Kwame, as well as that of Tristan, because, for one, the way the story is written, we're able to become Tristan. We're able to see the way he feels about things, experience his emotions. Are we seeing a part of Kwame in this too?
I try not to pull too much of myself into stories because I want Tristan to grow organically, on the page. I want Tristan to quote unquote live his own life. But there are some things that Tristan and I share in common, namely our fear of heights. Tristan is he has a height phobia, and you know what? Kwame Mbalia, the author, does as well. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Anything taller than 6 feet up off the floor, whether it's climbing on a counter to change the light or standing on a chair to change an air filter, I need some cushioning beneath me. So just in case, because it's risky up there.
Right. I think there's something that we see in the first book that also comes to life in the second book. And I want to talk about this for our audience, Kwame, because I think it's an interesting thing. The book is entertaining, but I think it also shows us some great lessons, especially because it is written with young readers in mind. Tristan has to learn to control himself, and he understands that especially when he's angry or involved in something, what can happen. What was that lesson like for you to be able to share? I mean, the importance of, it's one thing to be angry, but making sure that we are able to keep that anger in a measured way.
Well, I think that's something that's incredibly important for all ages. I think that's something that, everyone, kids and adults could take lessons from. But for Tristan and middle school students specifically, at that age, emotions, they're running high, right? We're feeling new things, exploring new things. The world is expanding in front of us. And, every day there's something new and we have to react to it. And so being able to show Tristan grappling, struggling with that he's not perfect at controlling his emotions, but there are coping mechanisms for him to help him, to assist. And there are people in his life to help and assist. I think that's very important. I think it's important for us to show young readers imperfection and growth and change in order to illustrate that we don't come out perfect, right? We continue to make mistakes, and that's something that Tristan does, and that's something that we do in real life.
So true. For those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome best-selling author Kwame Mbalia to our program today. We're talking with him not only about his literary journey, but his brand new book out this week called Tristan Strong Destroys the World. It is out now through our friends at Amazon.com or through your favorite bookstore. The other thing I want to ask you about, and we're going to then let our audience know, Kwame, how to stay connected with you, is about this experience of living the dream. When I was prepping for this, I went back and watched the conversation you had last year on camera with Rick Riordan, and you all talking about this journey for you, right? What is your hope for other storytellers out there when they look at your example and what you've been able to do? What do you hope they're able to realize about what's possible for them?
That the biggest thing that I like to tell writers is that you're going to meet a bunch of gatekeepers, and what we call gatekeepers in your life, people who will say yes or no to passing along your manuscript to the next level on the way to get published. But the first and biggest gatekeeper that you're going to face is yourself. When you tell yourself, no, I'm not going to submit to this, or no, I don't have a chance, my writing isn't that good. Never gatekeep yourself. Always assume that you are your biggest fan and you are your biggest promoter. Don't belittle your writing. Promote your writing. Don't hamstring yourself out the gate by saying that you're not good enough. I was able to reach Rick Riordan because we submitted, to his call for African American storytellers. And if I didn't feel comfortable with that, I may not be here today. So Do not limit yourself. Do not reject yourself. Do not self-reject. Always be your biggest fan and your biggest promoter.
And I think, too, like Tristan Strong, realize your own power. I think his granddad really helped him with that, to be able to realize the power that you have and know that each one of us has our own gifts. And I think that's another big one for sure. Of course, as Tristan is dealing with his own struggles, you're a author that's promoting a book inside of a worldwide pandemic. How have you been able to kind of navigate that, Kwame, as you were introducing people to the new book?
Listen, I'm learning and adapting on the fly here. This is something that I don't think we've never faced before, and so I mean I'm big and heavy and probably too active on Twitter, and so during this time I've just been putting that to use, reaching out to people, promoting the story, talking about the story, sharing, parts of the writing process with writers, writing with other writers and aspiring authors, and just connecting with people online. I think, we've all been familiar with Zoom and with Google Hangouts and stuff like that, and that's just become another tool in the repertoire of connecting with potential readers.
So true. So make sure you guys are staying connected with Kwame. Again, everyone, Kwame Mbalia has been our guest, the best-selling author. His new book, Tristan Strong Destroys the World, is out now. Make sure you guys get it for yourselves, either through our friends at Amazon.com or through your favorite local bookstore. And how can our audience stay connected with you, Kwame?
Well, you can visit my website at KwameMbalia.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at KSEKOUM. Again, on Twitter, that's at KSEKOUM.
All right, Kwame, congratulations to you again, man. Really appreciate this time, and looking forward to having you back on the program again.
Thank you so much, Cyrus.
Hey, more than welcome, man. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's make today amazing. Take care.